The September 11 attacks. A day that changed the world. Chronicles Part 2. Aftermath and Wars Beyond Borders. In our previous segment, we revisited the tragic events of 9/11 and felt the world's collective heartbeat in those dreadful moments. As the smoke began to clear from the crumbled towers, the quest for answers and the resounding cries for justice rose. In this episode, Aftermath and Wars Beyond Borders, we trace the steps taken in the days and years following the attacks. We delve into the resulting military campaigns and explore the controversial decisions that stirred heated debates worldwide. The immediate aftermath of 9/11 was a scene of devastation. Ground Zero, where the Twin Towers once stood, became a symbol of loss, resilience, and remembrance. For months, firefighters, police officers, rescue workers, and volunteers worked tirelessly, searching for survivors and then, tragically, recovering remains. The nation mourned. From city squares to homes, schools, and churches, people came together to honor the fallen and seek solace in community. President Bush termed the attacks as acts of war. The Bush Doctrine, advocating for preemptive action against potential threats, was shaped in these tumultuous times. The U.S., backed by many allies, launched the War on Terror. The aim? To dismantle al-Qaeda, capture Osama bin Laden, and ensure such an attack could never happen again. This new kind of war began in Afghanistan. The Taliban regime, which had harbored al-Qaeda, was swiftly toppled. But stabilizing the nation proved more challenging. Back in the U.S., the public was on edge. The newly instituted Department of Homeland Security introduced a color-coded threat level system, signaling the risk of another attack. Out of the ashes of tragedy, the One World Trade Center rose, symbolizing hope, resilience, and the indomitable spirit of not just a nation, but humanity. The repercussions of 9/11 were manifold. While it reshaped policies, security, and global geopolitics, it also left an indelible mark on the psyche of generations. It was a day that changed the world, and its lessons, challenges, and spirit of resilience will never be forgotten. In the wake of the September 11 attacks, the U.S., under the umbrella of the War on Terror, embarked on two major military campaigns that would dominate foreign policy and military action for more than a decade. The first was in Afghanistan. Home to al-Qaeda's leadership and under the control of the Taliban regime, it became the initial focus. Operation Enduring Freedom, Afghanistan. Launched on October 7, 2001, Operation Enduring Freedom sought to dismantle al-Qaeda and remove the Taliban from power. The U.S. forged an alliance with Afghan rebel groups, notably the Northern Alliance. Within weeks, key cities, including the capital Kabul, were liberated. In December 2001, U.S. forces targeted the Tora Bora region, believed to be hiding Osama bin Laden. Though the network was weakened, bin Laden escaped. Over the years, there was a push to rebuild Afghanistan, foster democracy, and eliminate Taliban pockets. Yet, stability remained elusive, with the Taliban regaining strength over time. The Iraq War. Operation Iraqi Freedom. The second major campaign, the Iraq War, began in 2003. It was argued that Saddam Hussein possessed weapons of mass destruction or WMDs and had ties to terrorists. On March 20, 2003, Operation Iraqi Freedom commenced with a strategy labeled shock and awe. In less than 2 months, Baghdad fell. While major combat was declared over in May 2003, the conflict was far from finished. No WMDs were found, and the premise of the war became a point of contention. Post-invasion Iraq saw a rise in insurgency, sectarian strife, and the emergence of new terror groups. The vacuum left by the fall of Saddam's regime fueled instability. To counteract rising violence, the U.S. deployed an additional 20,000 troops in 2007, a strategy called the Surge, that for a time, improved security and reduced violence. U.S. military involvement formally ended in 2011. However, the country's challenges persisted, with sectarian divides deepening and the rise of ISIS in subsequent years. Beyond these significant campaigns, covert operations targeting terrorist leaders, cells, and infrastructure became a hallmark of the post-9/11 military strategy. These military campaigns, fueled by the tragedy of 9/11, have had lasting impacts. They've shaped geopolitical landscapes, realigned alliances, and posed questions about intervention, strategy, and the true cost of war. Conspiracy theories and controversies. The events of September 11th were not just transformative but also deeply traumatic. And like many historic events that shake the foundations of societies, 9/11 became fertile ground for numerous conspiracy theories and controversies. Controlled demolition theory. One of the most persistent theories is the controlled demolition hypothesis. Some suggest that the Twin Towers, and especially World Trade Center 7, which wasn't hit by any plane but collapsed later that day, were brought down by a controlled explosion. They argue that the manner and speed of the collapse resembled a building demolition rather than a structural failure due to fires. However, studies by the National Institute of Standards and Technology and others have refuted this, explaining in detail the processes leading to the tower's collapse. Pentagon attack theories. The Pentagon attack also attracted skepticism. Some question whether Flight 77, a Boeing 757, really hit the building. They point to the relatively small hole in the facade and lack of large debris outside. Alternative theories propose a missile strike or an internal explosion. However, eyewitness accounts, security camera footage, and airplane debris found at the site confirmed that it was indeed Flight 77 that struck the Pentagon. Foreknowledge and insider trading. Another controversy surrounds alleged foreknowledge of the attacks. Suspicious trading activity before 9/11 led some to believe that certain individuals had advanced knowledge and placed stock bets based on this information. While these irregularities were indeed suspicious, multiple investigations concluded that the traders in question had no conceivable ties to Al-Qaeda or foreknowledge of the attacks. Passport controversy. Questions arose when it was reported that a passport belonging to one of the hijackers was found near the World Trade Center site, seemingly intact. Skeptics found it hard to believe that a paper passport could have survived the fireball from the plane crash when the black boxes did not. U.S. authorities, however, insist on its authenticity. The role of the Internet. The Internet played a substantial role in both propagating and debunking these conspiracy theories. Websites, forums, and later, social media became platforms where alternate narratives were shaped, questioned, and spread globally. Over the years, documentaries like Loose Change have gained popularity, promoting alternate theories about 9/11. While they present compelling narratives, many of their claims have been debunked by experts across various fields. While it's natural to seek explanations for such a devastating event, it's essential to approach these theories with a critical mind, separating evidence-based explanations from speculation. These conspiracy theories, while intriguing for many, also highlight a broader distrust in official narratives and institutions. They remind us that in times of crisis and uncertainty, truth often becomes the first casualty. Military maneuvers, geopolitical shifts, and intense debates marked the post-9/11 era. Yet, beyond these macro events, lie tales that often get overshadowed. Stories of ordinary lives caught in extraordinary circumstances. As we transition into our final chapter, we aim to spotlight these narratives, highlighting the legacy of 9/11 and humanity's efforts to remember, rebuild, and move forward. Join us in the next episode of Chronicles, Legacy, and Remembrance, as we conclude these three-part series on the September 11 attacks and take a deeper dive in this pivotal moment in history, exploring the depths of human experience and the peaks of our collective achievements.